Did you drop a gold axe or a silver axe? What? Neither one? Welcome back, friends, to another exciting day of, oh my goodness, the seamed textures there that are just totally see-through, to another exciting day of Aidyn Chronicles. Let's playing, of course, of the variety. Last we left off, we had dove headfirst into all of the crazy mechanics, and I think we are finally ready to get into the game proper as we follow the path that has been left in front of us by none other than the Witch of the Hut, Oriana, or, as Alaron finds out, just some random old lady who really doesn't mean to hurt anyone, and is totally actually a nice person. Now, we could follow Oriana's things, her Pathlight spell, but that's super boring, so we're gonna ignore it at certain points to go make sure we got everything. Apparently we already picked that up. And that's fine. We've been poisoned by goblins or some such. Oh, 5 gemstones. We'll take those 5 gemstones. Poisoned by goblins or something. And Oriana cannot heal us. She does not possess the power, Captain. I'm not even going to attempt a Scottish accent. Which is sad, considering that is kind of my, where my ancestors came from. Supposedly, like I know. Somebody could have just made that up and told me, and I wouldn't have known any different. Alright. Well, so there's going to be a lot of downtime as we play this game. You might have noticed, but we're just kind of plodding around, checking the corners for treasure. That's honestly a lot of what this game is. It's a lot of plodding around, it's a lot of taking it slow, and just kind of finding out what's out there. I invite you to sit back and... Oh, what's this? I don't remember this cinematic. Oh, please don't make me do their voices again. I think I'm gonna have to not do voices, because we're in it for the long haul today. I've got all day to record, and I don't think my voice is gonna but I've already done the voice. Oh, gosh. Alright. Look, sister. It's that squire. Good day, honored Mirari. Pup, what are you doing here? You have a bad look. We could ask them about Oriana, or we could say, I need to ask you something. Let's ask them about Oriana. Yes, pup. We know her well. Years ago after a goblin raid, she needed healing. We stepped in when stepping was needed. A woman wise and knowing, some say she sees the future and reads the page of what will come. Why do you ask of Oriana? I've met her. Where? You've seen her hut? I had my own encounter with the goblins. Oriana tried to rid me of their poison. And? She failed. This is a serious failing. But Oriana knows magic, doesn't she? We can say nothing more about Oriana. This is a promise the Mirari made years ago. That's ominous. And, of course, we get a chance here to ask another question. What can you tell me about magic? Show me some magic, honored Zurine. Call the wind or move these trees. Are there Mirari who still serve the dragon? Now, this might seem like it comes out of nowhere, but there is a dragon in the main Mirari city of Alaron, and yes, there is, like, rumor, or it's a cultural awareness that the Mirari worship it. So that's not completely coming out of nowhere, although the game doesn't really... If you're a player, you're not going to know what the heck that means. Kind of want to, like, tell her to move the trees, so we're going to go with that one. Silly Pop! We live as one with nature, never above and not below. Mirari do not play at odds or give commands. We weave the spells of harmony. We guide. And we protect, just as the dragons taught us. You have a bad look? Well, we can ask her for something. Not far from here, I saw a gate made of stone. It was enormous. You seen the portals? Yeah, this makes no sense. Alaron is essentially talking about that teleporter that we found earlier. But he calls it a gate made of stone. And again, I feel like any newcomer to this game is going to hear gate made of stone, and they're going to think of a physical gate, like a gate that blocks, like, entrance to a castle or something. And you know, if you take that literally, you're not going to have any clue what the heck he's talking about, gate made of stone. Anyway, so she says, of course, in reply, "You've seen the portals? Ah, yes. Then you know that these are magic places. Within the portal's distance stops. As does time. One travels from this some place to a point far out, unweighted and in an instant. They are the workings of a powerful spell when long ago bold sorcerers went casting. There an entrance, there its mate. Next, they were traveling near and far like flashes of light. At times they would choose guests, and those would travel too. But is there any other way to use these portals? No, their magic is too strong, unless I'm a sorcerer too, right? Not exactly. It's said that if the portals match if the portals match and one has laid a feeling hand upon them both, feeling hand, then that traveler knows the passage as well. Yes, and he may fly between the two like a magician. Thank you, Zareen. Be careful near the portals, pup. Why? They're totally harmless. Anyway, that was our portal tutorial. The cake is not a lie. Or is it? Is there any cake in this game? Oh yeah, buddy. 30 gold. That's not a lot of gold. Alright, do we have any reason to go this way? We're going off the beaten path again. I don't want to do too much exploring. Really, the world in this game is just giant, and I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. It's so easy to get lost. I mean, you do have the map. Actually, we should take a look at that now. Yeah, so this map here is pretty much the whole world, and you might be like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, kinda. Like, I think the real trick of it is there are just so many twists and turns that, that lend themselves to being lost. Like, I'm already lost. Gosh darn it. There's the path. That even though it doesn't seem too big, if you know where you're going and you pick a direction, it's not too bad. But if you start trying to explore everything, it can get messy. Okay, so we have already been here. We'll just keep going. So the beginning of this game is, in my opinion, a lot of fun. Because you're just given the reins and you're allowed to go out and kind of just find your way. But you might be a little lost as to what the heck we're doing right now. Well, essentially, what we're doing is we're going to scoot around the forest here. We're not going to explore it in total depth. Because we want our party. Now, you wouldn't know this, of course, that you're going to get a party anytime soon. And I guess soon is a relative term here because, you know, if you just decided to take a wrong turn and go in completely a different direction, you might end up halfway across the world before you realize that we're actually headed towards this. Whoops. We're headed towards the northeastern kingdom there called Guernia. Now, I mean, it's pretty obvious you need to go to Guernia. It's the only other place on your map that's been filled in right now. But you could go to Talawak or Araman. I think the game prevents you from actually entering Talawak, which is kind of silly. There's no reason they shouldn't let you into Talawak. It's not a terribly guarded town. I guess there's a school of magic there, but I don't know why they wouldn't just let people in. But because we can't travel through Talawak, we can't access the rest of the map. That's how the game prevents you from getting totally off track. It's a pretty lazy way to prevent the player from going places. Later on, other parts of the game will be like that. Like, you see the city down there, Ugarit, and I think even Terminor and Port Said do that to a degree. Or if you try and go there too early. I know Ugarit definitely is like that. Now, we're going to be skipping a lot of the movement here that the enemies are doing. I suppose maybe if we run into a new enemy, we'll let their animation play out, but you can just hit the A button and the enemy will skip forward. Interestingly, this is also a decent tactic for getting the AI to get a little messy. Because it's trying to process the AI's movement faster, it changes the way some of them move. And in fact, you can get some of the enemies to skip their turn if you fast forward their movement, because what happens is I think the game tries to calculate the fastest point to whatever target they're trying to attack, and then but if there's enemies in between them and you, sometimes they get stuck on the enemy models and they can't reach you, and so they pass their turn. It's not a guaranteed thing. It's not something that's like a super critical part of the game strategy or something, but it does happen from time to time. So we injured that rat, and you see it flees, and that's kind of one thing I like about the monsters in Aidyn Chronicles. They're not completely mindless, you know? They're not like Final Fantasy monsters, which just keep attacking you until they're dead. Typically, most monsters in Aidyn Chronicles will attempt to flee if they notice that they're losing. And there's an individual morale mechanic, and then there's an overarching morale mechanic. Although they're probably the same mechanic, they're just embedded in a similar manner. So what happens is an individual's morale. Oh, look, a potion. What do we get here? Just a standard healing potion. Anyway, so the individual monster will have its own morale stat. Well, all monsters have their own morale stat, I'm assuming. And if you injure them or damage them, or if they get panicky because they took a bunch of damage all at once, they will attempt to flee. And then once an enemy flees, or if an enemy's allies die, they panic, and then their morale goes down. So sometimes it's a chain reaction effect where you get like 1 or 2 enemies to flee, and then suddenly all the enemies start fleeing, and you're just sitting there passing your turn over and over again, letting them flee. If memory serves, you get the EXP for a fleeing enemy, but you don't get any loot they might have dropped. I'm not 100% certain on that. I just remember that being the case. Or maybe that's backwards. Maybe you get the loot, but not the EXP. Anyway, my memory is telling me it's better to off enemies and not let them run if you can. Okay. So we're off the beaten path. The Pathlight spell continues on up over there, but we're going to go explore this nonsense over here. And I don't remember how you can figure this out, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Alaron was essentially picked up by the kingdom as a child, and his town was ransacked by goblins, and you assume he was an infant when he was brought to the castle. This, as far as I understand, is Alaron's hometown that was ransacked by goblins. I don't think it ever comes out and directly says it, but I'm fairly certain that's what this is. We'll keep an eye out for that. This is important because this is a very clever piece of storytelling based on an item we're going to find out here. And for those of you who haven't played the game already, again, I imagine you're very few and far between, but for the sake of those who haven't played, we won't go into full detail as to what it means. We just need to remember... well, I'll point it out when we get there. I lost my skip key there. Okay, so we do run into a goblin, the first somewhat intimidating enemy we will see. Goblins are, I mean, they're not that strong, but they can be early on, simply because of their shield there. They can be a little hard to hit. Of course, we're going to attack the first time from the back and get a nice juicy hit, because attacks from the back ignore shields. And you will notice he does actually, I'm going to stop using actually. He does indeed hit us, whereas the other enemies weren't. So if you don't get that first nice hit in, it can be a bit of a trouble to kill this guy. I don't know why I'm super analyzing this singular goblin. It's not a big deal. I just know on the worst of days, I'll come up here and fight this guy and not take the fight seriously and not get that first backstab attack, and then he'll end up killing me and I'll feel like an idiot. Okay. I think there's like 1 or 2 buildings here that are intact. Ah, here we go. Okay. It's a little hard to see. 10 gold, not that exciting. Yeah, I guess there's nothing in here. Unless I'm missing something. I don't see anything. Here we go, here's a plaque. This day of storm season, we remember those who died here when goblins ravaged the village of Yorewood. We remember. You would assume that the castle, or the Kingdom of Guernia, got some spices here, the Kingdom of Guernia set up this plaque in honor of the village that they failed to protect. Sorry we didn't station enough guards in your home village, but we'll spend enough taxpayer money to build this monument for you. No, Guernia's fine. There's not much. What is the camera doing? Oh my goodness. Aidyn Chronicles, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This seems like a fairly intact place. Let's see here. It's not always obvious what you can interact with, so I'm just running around hitting the A button, hoping I get lucky. No, well, treasure chest is pretty obvious. Ah, here we go. The Namer's Ring. I think it's okay to explain this now, because I might forget it later, and I don't want to mess it up. So in this world, when children are born, they're given a name, and it's like a whole ritual. Like, if you don't have, it's really important to give a child a name in this game. It's not just the name you call them. Like, Alaron is called Alaron, right? But like, you wouldn't just, Alaron is like the sound that his parents were like, oh yeah, you're Alaron, or whatever. But like, everyone has a magic name, so to say. It's kind of the old fairy tale logic, where if you know the true name of something, you have total control over it. So essentially, everyone born has to have this magic name given to them. And only a namer magician, as far as I understand, can give it to the child. And so we found in this burned down house the Namer's Ring. In a place that the goblins attacked. Alright, I think that's everything in this town. There might be like another small treasure somewhere, but I don't think there's anything super important. The Namer's Ring is the big one. I don't think there's any identification mechanics in this game, so we should just be able to check and see what this does. Spell battery of 10. It's pretty good. So, spell battery, to make this even more confusing, you remember all that spiel we went on about how HP works and how you drain stamina to cast spells? Well, spell battery just increases. It's like HP that can be drawn upon for the purposes of spell casting and nothing else. Like, when you get damaged, your spell battery isn't going to lose HP, but when you cast spells, your spell battery will drain. And then it's recharged 5 points every time you rest outside, and then it's fully recharged if you rest at an inn. Whoa, you fell. That can happen. It's getting kind of dark. I see a ladder here. Yeah, you don't actually climb up ladders, you just teleport up them. Found a large shield, I guess that'll be useful. Oh, I want to say there's something up these cliffs. Is it getting dark or is it getting light? I think it's getting dark. We're going to camp here. I hate traveling in this game at night. It's so hard to see. What's worse is the screen I'm recording on darkens everything for some reason. I don't know why it does this. But, oh yes, past the marshmallows. Breaking the fourth wall a bit there. The screen I'm on is super dark, and so it appears light in the recording, but it's even harder for me to see things. We'll just fall off the cliff there. Pretty sure there's another Another piece of the cliff we can travel up somehow. We're gonna spend a little time looking around here. Is it over here? I don't see anything. Is my memory? No, can't be my memory that's bad. It's the children who are wrong. Maybe we just follow this river. Well, this is what I mean. Even this early in the game, we're allowed to completely come here and explore this for no reason. And that might sound a little silly, and it would be, except Aidyn Chronicles does a fairly decent job of giving some kind of reward for going out and exploring things. Like, the Namer's Ring we found, that's not some just fantasy item that you can buy in a shop. This is the only part of the game you can find a Namer's Ring. And not only that, but it increases your understanding of the plot, because you're like, oh, this village that got burned down, and then you can make the connection later that it's the village that Alaron was born into, and, like, I don't know, it's neat. There's a mechanical reward because you get an item that's unique, and there's also the story reward. You totally don't even have to come this way. What else is there? Well, just the fact that I think the first couple times I played this game, you have to keep in mind I didn't have a memory card, so, and that's more on me than the game itself. But I didn't have a memory card, so I did this beginning part a lot. What was that? You just see a weird graphical blip. Anyway, played the beginning of the game a lot, and on several occasions I did not come this way. So the moment, or the time that I did come this way and I discovered this whole burned down village, and I was like, what? What is this? It was just a neat discovery. Okay, I guess there's nothing else we can go explore. I think we found it all. Maybe. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes there are cliffs that have odd textures on them, and you're just expected to know that you can go over and tap the... Yeah, like, well, wait, we already came up here, right? Yeah, we did. Wait, I think you heard movement. Something moving down there? No, I'm just crazy. Okay. Ah, you can't fall off some cliffs. Oh well. Oh, that's a good point. We should probably save. Mostly because... No control... What? Oh, wait. I have to tell the emulator that we have a controller pack plugged in. Let me figure this out. Memory pack. Let's try it again. There we go. This game does have a tendency to just crash for no reason. So it's a good idea to save pretty frequently. Nothing under the bridge. Pity. Okay. Do we want to go? Which direction do we want to go? Did we come from this way? I think we came from this way, didn't we? Yeah. What's up here? Oh. Looks like a pathway that was broken. Odd. Well, at any rate, I'm pretty sure we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way. I guess camping might have reset the Pathlight spell. To Guernia. We're off. What? Oh. Alaron, at last! The king is beside himself with worry. He knows I was gone? Of course he knows, squire. You've been gone for several days. Where have you been? I was ambushed by goblins. They poisoned me, but Oriana helped me. She couldn't cure the poison, though. Poisoned? Curse those foul goblins. That woman in the woods helped you out, you say? Oh, wow, that was poor reading. Curse those foul goblins. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a run-on sentence, but it's grammatically perfectly fine. I'm not so sure I trust her. How do you know she didn't make things worse? She didn't! Besides, I'm sure I would know if she tried anything. If you say so. I'm telling you, she helped me. Yes, I believe you. We've been scouring these woods looking for you while you've been visiting crazy old ladies. I guess she's harmless enough. In any case, the king wants you back at the castle right away. So stick to the road and don't dawdle or Abrakan will have your hide. Did you hear me? Yes, don't worry. We'll all stop worrying once you get back to the castle in one piece. I'll run ahead and alert everyone in Guernia. Maybe someone can check on that poison for you. Okay. Good, now don't delay. I guess that's your tip-off to go to Guernia. So the journey to Guernia at this point is pretty straightforward. I don't think there's anything we want to go out of our way to mess around with. I think at this point we just kind of want to shoot straight towards the castle. We're probably going to get backstabbed by that rat, but I don't care. Nope. Attacks from the side. What? The one that took the head-on approach won. Yeah, what's up with Guernia and their like giant rat problems? Oh my goodness. What was that, 4 attacks? I guess these rats are pretty fast. We're just skipping through all the animations again. These fights are pretty basic early on. You really only have the option of stab thing, watch thing, try to stab you. Yeah, there's that back attack. I was hoping to kind of curve around one and position ourselves. Maybe we stand like this. Well, the problem is the model turns to attack the enemy when we do that. So we can't really position Alaron in an advantageous location. Although this rat's just going to flee. Oh, we can still reach it. Where do you think you're going? Oh, apparently he is going home. Going home. Alright. I think we will go to the castle. There are some things out here that's kind of fun to explore. I don't even rightly remember all of them. But the game's more fun when you have more people. So we'll go grab them first. Oh my goodness, though, the castle. The castle we're about to find is just crazy big. Or crazy confusing, I should say. Here's footsteps. Sound like they're coming from this direction. No. Chest. 1 herb. A singular herb. How useful. Okay, I definitely hear something moving around. It's either a rat or a farmer. I know I said I wasn't going to explore, but this is bothering me. It doesn't help that the load distance is so short in this game. It's really hard to tell where things are sometimes. Oh, totally is just a farmer. Hello, friend. Well, if it isn't the goblin's latest victim, still able to walk, I see. What's been going on in the forest? Everything the legend said would be going on. Don't touch the ring, it's cursed. Okay, thanks anyhow. This is what I mean about the dialogue not really making any sense. I think it happens a lot more with NPCs than it does with scripted events, and I don't know why. It almost feels like they're pulling off of a randomly generated list of things they could say. And there, you saw we snuck up on the enemy. That is possible. If the enemy isn't looking at you, they don't see you, and you could avoid them, or if you go up and hit the A button, you will engage in combat with them. But yeah, what was up with that NPC dialogue? You are the victim of the goblins. Can you tell me anything that's going wrong? Or going on around? Don't touch the ring, it's cursed. Is he talking about the Namer's ring? I couldn't tell you. I don't think he is. I don't know what he's babbling about. Okay, we're definitely getting EXP from the rats when they run, so... Maybe there is no disadvantage when they run. Maybe you do just get everything. Oh my goodness. What is that sound? It's that music? Yeah, welcome to Aidyn Chronicles' music. There is actually a soundtrack for the game, albeit a very limited one. And, whoever made this music, man, is just... The music ranges from simple to bizarrely erratic. It actually sounds like the kind of music that I would make, being a complete novice. So it's kind of funny. Yes, we get these regal trumpets here, you know, as we approach the kingdom. Did they send you to talk to me? Did they? What are you talking about? Nothing, nothing. Move along, son. This is what I mean. What is that dialogue? Does he say the same thing? Yeah, this is what I mean. They don't change dialogue. It's not random. Why would you... What does that mean? Did they send you to talk to me? Why would that be... This is the second NPC, aside from Oriana, that we have the option to talk to. You know, first was the farmer, second is this guy. And he just sounds so bat crap crazy. I don't get it. There is quite a bit to explore here in the village of Guernia, and we will be back. But again, I want to go get our party members first. Let's just talk to this guard. Excuse me, sir. Hello. I was wondering if you could tell me what it's like to stand guard. I'd rather be doing this than fighting minions, I'd say. I see. I don't know. I think a simple welcome to Corneria, I like swords, would suffice, but I think it's what adds to the magic of Aidyn Chronicles. It's the nonsensical NPC dialogue. Good old Abrakin. I actually really like Abrakin. What on earth? Sorry, if you hear the attic ghosts, I'm sorry. Any thumping or crashing, I have no control over that. Alaron, you're back. We're just ready to set out again, weren't we, Sir Abrakin? Set out? The king is beside himself. The farmers say there are goblins in the forest. Is it true? And monsters. We've heard all kinds of rumors. The king has ordered everything and everyone to go after you. That is not an Abrakin voice. I'll speak to him right away. Alaron, let me speak with you first. Not only has the king ordered a search, he's also asked all travelers on the road to look for you. Despite the warnings of monsters and goblins, farmers have left their fields. Magicians have been asked to consult the stars. Right now my best knights are out in the wilderness searching. All because you took it into your head to play hero. That's a pretty sturdy reprimand, you know? He's not wrong. It wasn't like that. I didn't mean to worry you. You've been gone for days. I'm sorry, Abrakin, but I didn't plan on an attack. Attack? When were you attacked? Look, I'm in no mood to explain. As he walks wistfully into the camera. Wait. Prince Sheridan claims you were looking for someone. Far be it from me to argue with Sheridan. Alaron, we just want to know what happened. The goblins attacked. An ambush. It was in the woods, not far from here. Kendall is dead. If it is true, we must tell the king. Prince Sheridan, run to the training room. Tell Traherne the boy is safe. Have him call off the search. But Sir Abrakin... Do as I say! Can I go now? Stop right there, squire, and start explaining. The goblins were too strong for me. Naturally. They attack in groups. How could you hope to fight them all? I don't know. Sheridan nonchalantly eavesdropping. They have patrols. They move at night. Everyone out there in the forest is afraid. They're horrible, Abrakin. Enough of that. So you found Kendall, and then what? You escaped on your own? There was a healer gathering herbs. She stumbled across me. What are these animations? What healer? I've been all through this castle looking for you. I've spoken to everyone. No one's seen you for days. She isn't a castle dweller. She lives in a clearing by the edge of the forest. Her name is Oriana. What's the matter? Nothing. Okay. Alright. I know I said I wasn't going to give it away, but I have to, because there's just too many things going on here. So spoiler alert, I am sorry. If we're going to get any sort of benefit from any of the weird interactions, we have to know things already. Oriana is Alaron's mother, and the town that got attacked was Alaron's. Oriana used to live there. We'll get to the other bits later about the Namer's Ring, but that's why Abrakin is so... That's why he's dismissive of this. He doesn't want to reveal that Oriana is Alaron's mother. That's why earlier, when the Mirari said we made a promise not to say anything, the Mirari made a promise with Oriana's mother, or Alaron's mother, Oriana, not to reveal to Alaron that she gave birth to him. You don't believe any of this, do you? Just finish the story. It's not a story, it's the truth. Oriana dragged me out of the woods and back to her hut. She cast a spell, but she couldn't cure you. See, again, Abrakin knows more than he's letting on. No, she said ordinary herbs were useless. You must go to the throne room. I'll be alright. Just standing out here in the rain. The weather is random. Huh? Prince Sheridan! What's that? Oh, yes, yes. Sir Abrakin? If you please! Oh, yes, of course. Training room. Yeah, right away. Sheridan's kind of like that dickhead brother who just antagonizes you your whole life. Admittedly, I don't know what that's like. I think I was the dickhead brother. Hopefully I've gotten better with age. We'll tell the king. We'll find Gachina and speak to her. And we'll ask Bowden what to do next. He doesn't even leave. I love it. They couldn't even make the model go through the door, so he just kind of walks off into the corner. It's like, okay, the players won't notice him if he walks off camera. Excuse me, sir. Yes, what is it? I was wondering if you could tell me what it's like to stand guard. It's not that bad. It comes with the responsibility of being a soldier in the king's service. I see. See, that line isn't too bad. Excuse me, sir. Blah, blah, blah. How do you like being a guard? I rather like it. I see. And now we have the castle music, which is the funkiest bebopping music you'll ever hear in a European-esque castle. It's pretty catchy. The king is The king is waiting for you. I'm on my way. I was looking for Gachina. Is he angry? That seems pretty relevant. He's worried. He told Sheridan to stay out of the woods, but there wasn't time to warn all of the squires. I suppose he feels a little responsible. But that's crazy. I decided to go. He'd like to see you right now. I'll be there with him when you arrive. Yeah, I don't think you understand the concept of responsibility here, Alaron. Like, legitimately, you're the king's friggin' squire. Of course people are gonna be worried if you leave the castle. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. As many times as I've played this, I never really committed everything in this game to memory. It's just too big. So I don't know what we're going to find while we go around the castle. I'm just going to be running around hoping we find something cool. I don't know if any of this is useful or even necessary. I guess we're in a storeroom. Well, I'm not finding anything else. We should probably save again before this crashes. Applicants for knighthood, please enter here and proceed to the training room. Now we might run into Sheridan. Excuse me, sir. What is it like to be a guard? I'd rather be fighting minions. It's very boring, son, just like you. Oh, the shade. Couple of suits of armor. The training room apparently is this way. And there's Sheridan. So you finally decided to turn up. You want a match, Sheridan? I don't. I can't now. I have many errands to take care of. I guess we could just ask him for questions. What is it now, Alaron? Have you ever had wild dreams? Ah! That's not a question you ask a man of his stature. Why did you tell Abraham I was missing? When was the last you saw Kendall? All of these are interesting. Kind of feel like accusing him of, telling Abraham we were missing, though. It makes the most sense. I didn't tell him. He must have found out another way. But you were the only one who knew where I was. My errands are waiting. Let's finish this later. Yeah, he totally told Abraham. And he won't let you... Didn't you hear me? I'm busy. I don't have the time to talk with you. Find me later. I'll be in the castle. Ooh boy, here's trouble. How are you, Traherne? I'm alright, boy. But did you know the king was asking for you? I'll go to him now. See you later, Traherne. Alright, see you later. Later, dude. I don't got time for you. Did he say anything useful? No. I do kind of like it that you start out the game as being this mischievous boy who is actually in trouble. Like, they don't just say you're in trouble. Like, the whole kingdom knows you're in the doghouse, and that the king's gonna let you have it the moment you find him. I think that's kind of funny. Dude, what is that? Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like I should get the neighbor's permission to be part of these recordings because of how many times I mention them, but they're vacuuming right now. So I don't know if you can hear it, but the rolling above our head I think might be being picked up by the mic. All right, what are we looking at here? No, sorry, not the neighbor. It's the attic ghost, of course. We don't have neighbors here. Alright, let's see here. Of course, sorry. How to put this? I hope you understand I'm having good fun with, the joys of living in an apartment. Of course, people need to vacuum their floors. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh my goodness, I'm already lost. Okay, let's try this door. Well, we are the king's squire. Might as well just... Oh, I was gonna say steal everything, but apparently we can't pick that lock. I can't pick any of these locks. We'll have to remember to come back here. I was wondering if you like tell being a guard, this guard rather likes it. Oh my gosh, have we been here? It's hard work, but worth it. To protect the likes of you from the goblins and minions. It's not that bad. It comes with the responsibility of being a soldier in the king's services. Oh, we're on top of the castle now. It's actually nighttime. I guess time still passes when we're indoors. Unlike Ocarina of Time, where when you're inside somewhere, time stops passing. Seems to lead into the courtyard. Interesting. Or does it? Let's check this out. Wait. Oh, we got a screen transition. That was weird. Yeah, this just leads into the courtyard. Okay. I'm assuming there are 4 ramparts or 4, like, main towers. Seem to see a banner here of... What is that? What is that a banner of? What is that, a corgi? It's like some weird dog or fox or something. Oh, hello. Hello, friend. You should walk more quietly, squire. What's been going on in the forest? Most of what goes on happens at night. No one really sees it. Why, thank you. Whose room is this? Is this the king's room? It's not our room. Our room has a big dragon in it. Or a picture of a dragon. Gotta check to see if there's anything in the bookshelves. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I have to assume this is the king's room. Okay, so the king's room is halfway between the middle section of one of these ramparts. Otherwise, is there a good reason to travel around the edge? I don't think so. I don't see any other... There's just that big room. So I might as well go down into one of these corners. Wait, is this the one we came up in? Yeah, I think it is. Let's find another corner. We do travel pretty slowly. You get used to it, though. Oh my gosh, I'm already turned around. I think we go in here. Oh, that just kicks us out back into the courtyard. No reason to be here. Let's go down. Down it is. We're back to Treyarn. And Sheridan is gone. So I suppose we pick another corner? No, wait a minute. There's an observatory. What is that? Oh, never mind. There's an observatory over here. How do we get to it? Huh. Looks like the only way is through a part of the castle. You look like you want to be a knight. It's a great calling. That doesn't even address what Alaron asked. He asked the same question. I was wondering what it's like to stand on guard. You look like you want to be a great knight. There must just be function, guard dialogue, and it outputs the same text that Alaron always asks them. And then they're just interspersing random bits of dialogue in between. This guy says, better than being a wizard and worrying about exploding. Ha! We're back at the barracks. Well, we'll go... Where did we go? Did we talk to Brenna? Oh, Brenna's gone. Shoot, did we miss our chance to talk to her? Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize she would disappear. My goodness. Brenna's just gone. Brenna was walking around here. We could have talked to her. That's kind of hilarious. So, it's probably a good time to go into this now. This game is not the most stable. It's stable enough to play through. You're not generally going to run into any game-breaking bugs that prevent you from playing the game. However, there are definitely some wonky mechanics involving NPC locations. This is a good example of one of them. NPCs will often say things like, I'm going to go here and wait for you here, and then they disappear from the game forever. Or they're like, hey, I want to join your team, and you tell them yes, and if you have a full party list, they won't join your team, and they'll get glitched, and they can never join your team again. There's just really weird things like that in this game. So, Brenna disappearing here doesn't surprise me. There must have been some trigger that, like, evaporated her, but heaven knows why. Waiting room. Applicants seeking an audience with the King of Guernia must register here before entering the throne room. Well, this seems like the way we want to go if we want to talk to the king. Or do we want to talk to the king? The throne room is this way. Yeah, we're going to not go to the throne room. Or is there a reason for us not to go to the throne? Well, you know what? Forget it. We've lived in the doghouse long enough. We'll go to the throne room. And here we see Battles of the Lonely Mountain, and you get a bunch of names here. I assume these are names of people who died in the battles? No, this can't be, because Beckon is totally a character. These must not be people who died, these must be people who they're remembering or honored or whatever. Trying to scan the names. Something you'd find interesting names in here. Oh, look at that, Kendall. Kendall's listed here. His name is spelled differently. I think there were 2 L's, weren't there? Interesting. But yeah, it's kind of neat to just see the name drops of characters who were involved in battles of the past. Alright, we'll go up to the king. Well, thank goodness you've come back safely. Yes, sir. Alaron, you are a good and loyal squire, but the world can be dangerous, as you have discovered. After consulting with my advisors, I have decided that this poison, however slow it may be, is beyond the skills of Grania's healers. You must journey to Araman. You will find a Mirari healer there. Their king has long been a friend and ally to this land. I have written a letter to tell him who you are and why you need his aid. Please present this letter to Tommen, using all the ritual customs which should accompany me, a representative of our realm. Thank you, sir. The road to Araman is easily followed, but you should have companions on this trip. Therefore, I've ordered Sir Abraken to be at your disposal. He is the best fighter, and I know, and... Oh, sorry. He's the best fighter I know, and you would do well to bring him along, but you and he must discuss it first. Yes, the boy and I will talk later. We will decide whether I will go. However, The goblins have been rising in the forests, and I cannot spare more than 2 companions at this time. You may take your friend Brenna. She is quite resourceful in her own way, and seems to be able to move well in difficult places. And Master Bowden has agreed to let you take his apprentice, Rita. She is quite involved these days with her own experiments, but she may be persuaded to seek more exotic herbs and ingredients along the road. I am sure she will be a great spellcaster one day. Finally, you may also choose Godric, our alchemist. He is a bit strange, but he could prove useful, and his knowledge will help you immensely. Everyone else must stay here at the castle, I'm afraid. I need to discover all I can about these goblins. As with any endeavor, your success will depend on who you choose and to bring with you. I will not allow you to leave until you have picked your companions. Think carefully about your group. Talk to them before you make your decision. You may take only 2 with you, so choose wisely. And do not hesitate to seek the advice of your teachers and friends. Be sure to see Treherne, as he will have some equipment for you, I'm sure. Yes, sir. You're too generous, your majesty. On the contrary, Sir Aberkin, I am quite sorry to see this boy go. Now, there are few more obligations you should attend to on your way. As you leave Guernia, be sure to pay your respects to Gabriel for the attentions he has shown you over the years, and be sure to visit the farms. Find Kendall's family and tell them what has happened. Use all your sensitivities as you give them this news. I'll be sure to do that, sir. I fear this is as much as I can help you. As you know, I had always hoped that you would finish your training here and one day be pledged as a knight. It is still my greatest wish to someday see you and Sheridan go forth together under the kingdom banners. Therefore, I have decided that you should you succeed on this quest, you will be made a knight. Your Majesty, make him a knight? Thank you, sir. No, now you are too generous, sir. Too generous by far! That is my privilege, Aberkin. Yes, sir. When Alaron returns, he will receive his sword of office and see his name inscribed on the roll. It is my fondest wish. And it will be my pleasure to accept the boy, now that his honor awaits and guides him accordingly. I will do more than keep that in mind. Very well. Go then, Alaron, with my blessing. Heal yourself and return to us. We will be waiting. Thank you, your grace. I will do my best. Indeed, squire, see that you do. Bring that letter to Zombin, boy. Okay. So now we get our choice of, who we want to take with us. I don't know why they say you can only choose 2 companions. You can definitely choose 3. Although, now here's the catch. Brenna will always join your party. Like, always. You don't really get a choice. So we just will pick our 2 companions, and then we won't pick Brenna, and that will force her to join us anyway. What else is there? Aberkin is just a solid fella. I love having Aberkin on the team. Plus, early on, he is your tank, he's your damage dealer, he's going to be, he's going to be your early front line, and he's probably higher level than you. Like, he has more experience points spent on his character. Oh, I didn't realize this triggered a cinematic. May I have a word with you? Yes, sir. This plaque. Yes, sir. It is the knightly roll. It names all knights in Guernia. There's so many names, sir. Also, they misspelled Kendall's name, sir. Many must serve, squire. But it is also something more, sir. That is correct. Every town in the kingdom has a list like this. To have your name on the roll is more than an honor. It is an induction into a world both smaller and bigger. It is a smaller world because you become part of a select. It is a larger world because you also take on the burden of knighthood and all the honor, valor, and truth that it entails. I have promised myself to go with you on this trip if you want me, and I have promised the king to make you worthy of this role. So now, I will promise you. Mark this list well, take it to heart, and understand that if you ever give me reason to doubt yourself or your abilities, you will never see your name here. I will see to that personally. I understand. Act well, and I will be your truest sponsor. Thank you, sir. Now you must choose a group, and you might think of a bath as well. Someday my name will be on this list. Ah, yes, the joys of being a shonen main character. Someday I too will achieve greatness. Oh my gosh, all the voices in my head are messing with how I, like, want to talk normally. Don't ask. You mean about the quest? There, you see, you've already brought it up. You're still angry with me, aren't you? Anyone can see you're not ready. You're too young, too inexperienced, and too often rude. By the way, the next time the king asks to see you, please be on time. And when the king gives you a letter, please remember to say thank you. You still have it, don't you? I'm not sure. That letter's important, Alaron. Be sure not to lose it. Wait a minute. That's clearly supposed to be Alaron saying that. But Sir Abrakan. Okay. So Abrakan is one of our choices. Brenna is going to be our thief. I don't know how necessary a thief is in this game. Especially because Alaron can just learn all the thief skills. And I think it's very much less frustrating to play the game with a thief for a couple reasons. If you have a thief, well, it's not even a thief. If you have someone with the mechanic skill, you can open up the treasure chests in the game. If you have someone with the disarm skill, you won't have treasure chests exploding in your face and destroying their contents. And if you have someone with the thief skill, which oddly enough, the thief skill does not help you open locks, pickpockets, or disarm traps. The only thing the thief skill does is, like, increases your accuracy and damage when you stab people from behind. And what that means is, again, any character who can learn these skills can become these things, right? So I want to be clear up front. When I say Brenna can do these things, like Brenna is our thief, that word doesn't really mean anything, because I'm using it in the pretext of other games where a thief is locked in to learning the thief skills. Anyone who can learn these skills can become a thief, or do the things you would associate with thieving in video games. That being said, Brenna starts out with them, and having a character with those skills, with the thief skill, means that eventually you'll run into enemies that no one can hit, and your thief is kind of the only one who can actually damage them. So they kind of become your quarterback in early parts of the game before your party is sort of fleshed out. Because they're the ones you want to protect, because they're doing all the damage, because they're the only ones who can hit an enemy. Because they've leveled up that thief skill. I don't know whose room this is. Is it the queen's? We never see a queen in this game. I'm gonna have to assume that this is a late queen? Although the fire's still running. Whoa, did you see that glitch? It like popped back. That was weird. Let's see if we can do that again. Nope. Oh, it doesn't seem to be anything actually in here, so really do have to assume that's with a white, all I'm saying is the white drapery made it look more feminine than a king room. A kitchen! Ah, we can go talk to Gabriel, the cook. That guy who was in the opening cinematic. Gabriel! Oh, Gabriel. Alaron! Heavens! Wait, why did I say heavens? Oh, because it's down there. Alaron, so you're back! Thank heavens you're safe. I thought His Majesty would turn this castle inside out looking for you. Which reminds me, boy. What are you doing here in the kitchen? Shouldn't you report to Abrakan and the king? I've already seen Abrakan and the king. Oh dear, I'm sure that was uncomfortable. He says you knew better than to go off into the forest alone. You make one little mistake around here. Nobody lets you forget it. Alaron, it wasn't a little mistake. We were all worried to death. Who asked you to worry? Impulsive. You're simply impulsive. Why do you have to frighten us all like that? I don't know, Gabriel. I didn't mean to. Don't you know how I'd feel if something happened to you? I'm an old man, Alaron, and I've raised you like my own child. When you take off like that... Gabriel, I'm sorry. That's alright. Oh, did I tell you? I found Sheridan in your room while you were gone. You're kidding! Did he steal anything? Why, Alaron, that's a horrible thing to say. Why would the prince steal anything from anyone? Yeah, why indeed. I don't know, Gabriel. He's just been asking me a lot of questions lately. Such as? Such as, are you really sure you don't know who your mother was? I mean, really. Yeah. Again, so knowing all the stuff we were talking about earlier about Oriana being Alaron's mother and Prince Sheridan asking about Alaron's mother, you can kind of make a connection there. That is odd. Yeah, well, I better be off. Alright, boy, come see me soon. Does he say anything else? No, it just says the same thing. Alright. In hindsight, I should have done like a really horrible French accent. Alaron, so you're back! Thank heaven you're safe! Ho ho ho! It's probably a good thing I didn't do that. I'm already losing my voice and we've only been into this. Oh gosh, we're only an hour in. Alright, this probably just says kitchen, yeah. Oh, an empty room. Classic THQ style. This is what I mean. In Quest 64, I mentioned that there were a lot of empty rooms, and that is definitely the case in Aidyn Chronicles. You find a lot of empty rooms. Oh, hey, Sheridan Dick. And so you're going to Araman. Looks that way. Let's see. Better get a group together. Who will you train with while I'm gone? You think these goblin raids will continue? Any more thoughts about my dream? Let's ask him about the dream. Why are you obsessing about that? Obsessing? I'm not obsessing. I've just been thinking about it a lot. You know, the gods sometimes speak to us in dreams. They do? They do. Have they spoken to you? Yes, they have. Wow, what do they say? That when I become king, that there will be peace and prosperity for everyone. You lying. Nah. Did they say anything about me? That they have special plans for you, Alaron. Now you'll be leaving soon, right? Hello, Squire. You haven't left yet, I see. What can I do for you now? Well, Sheridan, I was just wondering whether you've ever seen the old woman in Oizen Forest? Why do you ask? I may have seen her a time or two. Well, I was wondering whether you thought she could be trusted. You trust her? Don't make me laugh, Alaron. The way you treat some of the townsfolk sometime, what would you know about trust? I've been trying to do better. Gabriel has been after me to listen before I spout off. And has it helped? No, not all the time. I know that I offend people sometimes. So see what I mean? If you offend people, they may not trust you. Maybe you should check in on this crone on your way out. You might have said something that has offended her. Now I treat all the subjects with... all the subjects. Wouldn't you say you treat all subjects in the kingdom or something? All the subjects. Anyway. Now I treat all the subjects with respect, and they trust me implicitly, as well they should. You're right, I'll check on her on my way. Good idea. Now I've got some things to attend to. Okay, and he just says the same thing. Oh my goodness. So, where are we headed now? More random rooms, apparently. Alright, Godric. Let's take a moment, rest my voice. So let's take a moment to consider the other party members. There's Rita, who is a magician. I have a confession to make. I told you I've only beaten Aidyn Chronicles once, and that's because I played through it multiple times and put many hours into many save files, but I never bothered to play it all the way through to the end except once. And I don't know if I've ever truly played this game well. What I mean by that is I didn't know how long the game was, and so I labored under the assumption that I was going to level up every single stat for every single character. And so, briefly, we'll go over, or just to point it out. So, you know, I took all of these stats here for every single character and completely maxed them out. Then I went into here and took a lot of their skills and maxed out those skills. I was planning on doing spells at some point, and I never did. I went through the entire game teaching every character every skill they could learn here in the skills menu, which often led to them having level 10 warrior, level 10 wizard, level 10 thief, which means that Rita, Brenna, who I'll admit I used Rita and Brenna as my main two party members the first time through. Rita and Brenna were hulking warriors. Like, the mage knew 2 or 3 spells, but had level 10 warrior and level 10 thief, and Brenna had like level 10 warrior and level 10 thief. So they were really good at murdering everything with their physical attacks. And I beat the game like that, with everyone being a warrior. Alaron too. I just maxed out his physical stats. So I basically beat the game with 4 fighters. The 4th party member just kept changing, but wasn't important. This time I'd actually like to build the characters in a way that makes sense and do a lot less grinding. So I don't know how good of a wizard Rita is, because the time I used her, I never used her as a wizard. But this is Rita, of course. Rita, what voice did we do? British voice. I can't. No discussions. I'm too busy, and I will continue to be too busy for a long time. Please go away. And I'm sorry, because I'm probably mixing like 3 British accents together. Since when are you too busy? I need to talk to you. Yeah, we'll say since when are you so busy? Since Shamsuk decided to start cursing my friends without warning, without permission of the council. And he did a pretty good job of it too. I guess some of our wizards feel they're above the rules. Who Shamsuk? A curse? Who? How bad? And anything I can do. I think it's hilarious you apparently need the council's permission before you go around cursing people. Like, why would that be a rule? Let's ask who Shamsuk is. Well, that's a stupid question. I thought there were no stupid questions. You're one of Bowden's students, aren't you? Shamsuk is the necromancer. The what? Squire, I have a real problem here. Now, I'm sure whatever is troubling you is important, but I'm very busy, and I can't help you, so please, go out the way you came in. Rita! I can't. No discussions, I'm too busy, and I will continue to be too busy for a long... Oh, we already read that. We'll go ahead and ask her a little bit more about Shamsuk here. A curse, who? How bad? Bad enough. It's Nizam. He's wasting away. Every day he gets a little weaker. A little more sick. He doesn't age and he doesn't die. He just is never well. I have some friends who are just never well. But why? What did he do? Squire, please, it's not what you do. It's who gets angry with you. You're old enough to know that much about the world. What did you come to see me about anyway? I'm going to Araman and I need a group to travel with. The king told me to ask you. He's right. There are many enchantments on the path right now, some dangerous and some not. Either way, a good magician would be useful. We could ask her about what spells she casts. Naming. The spells of ancient power and control. I'm very powerful, you know. She's not very powerful. She's like 1 step above an apprentice. Does that scare you? It should. Either way, a good magician would be useful. Are you? A good magician, I mean. You want me to turn you into a bat or something? Let's see. I think we are gonna take Rita. Mostly because I would like to see if she's a useful wizard or not. Plus Using a little bit of prior knowledge, the game is sort of, the plot is connected to her. That leaves the question, I mean, I hate this. Every time I play, I always skip Godric. Godric is the alchemist. I feel like you probably either take Rita or you take Godric. Because Abrakan is almost a no-brainer. He's just so useful early on. So if we take Rita, we're not going to take Godric. And I feel bad because I've never used Godric. Like, never used Godric. And he seems so interesting. He's like this crazy alchemist. Yeah, alright. We're going to take Rita. We're going to take the generic vanilla party this time. Because again, Bren is always going to join you. So we'll ask her to join us. I'd like to, but Neeson's been a friend of mine for a long time. I can't go anywhere until I remove his curse. Let's see. I really think you should come with me. Look, Alaron, I don't like saying no over and over again. But what if you can't remove the curse by staying here? What if the answer you need is somewhere else? You mean an Araman, for instance? Well, would you have the time for a quest then? Now that is interesting. Yes, Alaron, I would. You can expect me after all. Alright, so we have our first party member. Oh shoot, she's not gonna stay in that order, is she? I guess it really doesn't matter. It's not like you have the characters following behind you. We're gonna go back and get Abrakan, I guess. Maybe. So here's the thing, if we take Abrakan, we can't run into Godric, and we can't run into Brenna. So I'm not going to take Abrakan right this second. I'm going to wait, just so we can at least see the other characters, because otherwise they disappear, and I don't think that you can take them with you. Apparently we haven't gone into this room. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Oh, I was going to say it's another empty room, but apparently we can just steal this Dispel Necromancy scroll. Because that's how we roll. What else do we need to do? We've talked to Sheridan. We've talked to Gabriel. We can go talk to Brenna. Who should be out here. Yeah, she's back now. I'm going to save because I don't remember if she forces her way onto your party here. She's going to go ahead and handle it like that. Brenna? Back again, Alaron. Now what is it? I want to explain about Kendall. The king is sending me to Araman. Do you always have to snap at me? That seems pretty funny. I think we're going to go with that one. Does a wizard wear a funny hat? Oh no, I'm giving her a British accent now. Oh, gosh. That was it? Wait. I just kept moving off, but I... Oh, okay. I don't know what voice to do for Brenna. I want to explain about Kendall. Forget it. He shouldn't have gone into the woods, especially not alone. Then you know about the goblins. Why do you think he was out there? Have you spoken to his family? Well, let's say then you know about the goblins. We hear more every day. Abrakan's increased the guards around the castle, but that hasn't done much to discourage them. I'm surprised you're not out on patrol. The king is sending me to Araman. Araman? But that's miles from here. Not that I've ever been there myself, but I think it's miles. Does this have anything to do with your adventure in the forest? Some adventure. While I was lost, I was dumb enough to get ambushed and poisoned by goblins. Oh, Alaron, you know how dangerous goblins are. How many times have I shown you how to walk the path without leaving tracks, or without rustling leaves? I should have paid more attention. Anyway, I'm supposed to take Abrakan along with me. Then you'd better plan on working every step of the way. Abrakan's so strict. I'd end up surrendering to the goblins just to get a break from him. He is a good fighter. Would you take Rita? What do you say about coming along with me? I'll ask if we should take Rita. I don't think she'll go. Rita's locked herself in her lab. Something to do with the spells of a necromancer. What if I speak to her? Explain the situation. This is funny. Rita's right behind us. I'm sure she'll listen, but you won't get far. One of her best friends was cursed. She's promised to keep experimenting until she finds a cure. She's even turned down an appointment from the wizard school. She told Ardra she had no time for trivialities. What's a triviality? I have no idea. Oh, you uneducated fools. Some kind of spell they use in Talawalk? I guess. Rita's a good teacher, though. I couldn't understand the principle of the 4 schools until she explained it to me. Now I never see her. Because what she's doing is important. Don't you see? I'd love to feel that way about anything. Anything at all. Here. What the? Alaron putting on the smooth moves there. It's all the same. Oh. Okay, the here ... was just leading into the next paragraph. Here, it's all the same. All the time. Lessons, training, day after day. Well, what am I training for? I'd love to get caught up in something. Okay, that's right. It's Brenna that pursues Alaron. Well, I'm always available. I meant something important. Uh-huh. You know what I mean. Alright. So we could say Abrakan's the best fighter. That's true. I saw him in a fight. I saw him fight a monster once. About 10 seconds into the battle, I actually started feeling sorry for the poor creature. I have no sympathy for monsters. You see? You think the way he does. Either you're good or bad. Either you follow the rules of the knighthood or you don't. I wonder if all knights are like that. And we could ask her to come with us. Me? On the road? With you and Abrakan? You're right, it's a bad idea. I should say so. So, Brenna is your childhood thiefy friend. A little bit like Imoen from Baldur's Gate. Alright. So, this is the training room? We do need to talk to Traherne. Who should be... Is he here? Here he is. Oh boy, here's trouble. How are you, Traherne? Do you know the king wait, this is just the same thing. Oh, okay, now that we've been in, we get different dialogue choice. Wait till you hear where I've been. Can you speak to Abrakan for me? Nah, we don't care about Abrakan. We'll say, wait till you hear where I've been. Lad, I heard. Up and down the forest, isn't it? Playing patty cakes with the goblins? They're running patrols through the forest all around here. Is that so? Well, I guess they were due for a comeback. Used to live in the mountains northwest of these fine ramparts. They have for generations harassed human and Mirari alike. Once the old king, Ramsay that is, rousted them out for good. That being the Battle of Lonely Mountain. That was in the dark season of 895. That being... How many times does he say that? That being where our present king, Phelan, that is, came of age. You don't know that story, do you, boy? I'm sick of that story, or I'd like to hear it. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, it was glorious. Phelan defeated the hobgoblin Grictical in one-on-one combat. That kept them quiet for a while. So what brought them back? Who knows why goblins do anything, lad? Every 20 years or so, they're in your face with that stinking breath. But I don't have to tell you, Phelan beat them over and over again. Oh, beat them again after that raid and your naming ceremony. Ah, interesting. Okay, I didn't realize... It's been so long since I paid attention to what any of the NPCs actually say in this game. I didn't realize Traherne here mentions the naming ceremony. So Alaron was named, or at least there was a naming ceremony? That's interesting. We gotta keep that locked away in our head for later. You mean the attack on my village? And there's the reference that Alaron's village was attacked. I warned Phelan then that something was up. Maybe it was, but I had nothing to do with me. You see, boy? Nobody ever listens to me. You think the attack was because of me? Forget it, Alaron. It was years ago. Then talking about it shouldn't do any harm. Later. Run along now, like a good boy. I'm very busy. Look at all these old weapons. That reminds me, have you seen an old sword anywhere around the castle? Sorry. I guess I better keep looking then. I'll let you know if I find it. I see, boy. Thank you, Skull. This particular sword is of some value to me. Are you ready to equip your group? No, I'm not. I'll be back when I am. Interesting. So, Traherne kind of drops the concept, or Alaron, talking to Traherne, drops the concept that his village was attacked by goblins because of Alaron? I don't know why Alaron would say that, but I think he's right. His village was attacked because of him. Oh wait, how did we end up back here? Gricticall, the hobgoblin. Yeah, and the previous king was Ramsay. I don't know who the current king's name is. Or maybe Ramsay is the current king. Man, there's this whole section of the castle we haven't even been to yet, and I can't remember how to get there. It's the part with the alchemy lab. We also have to go find Traherne's sword. We have to do that before we leave the castle, otherwise it will mess with the triggers. Oh, I guess we'll go this way. How do we get to the alchemy lab? We don't want to get Abrakan on our team just yet. Wait a minute, there's a door here we haven't taken. We've gone to the kitchen. Is it this way? It smells like something's burning. That's impossible. There's like nothing connected. Is my computer burning? No, seems fine. Alright. Wow, another empty room. Not surprising. Go up, maybe? Okay, let's orient ourselves. There was that big... observatory, and that's where we want to go. So maybe if we walk towards it... There it is. I'm sorry, I thought you was corn. Okay. So, one would assume that perhaps we can get close to the observatory since we're kind of in that direction. But this is just the barracks. But it says on the map that we haven't gone this way, so we'll go this way. Oh no, we have gone that way. It's this way that we haven't gone? This is the waiting room for applicants to knighthood. No, we've gone here. There's a door on the map, but it says we haven't taken it. Which door? Maybe this one. There we go. Seems to be a forge of sorts. Yeah, I don't think there's even anything useful. Someone took the time to make this forge room. There's nothing in here. Alright, well. Has to be a way to the observatory. That's where Godric is. Wait, wasn't there a door leaving this room? Ah, here it is. Alright, well, let's... There's no other exit from this room, so let's go up and across, and we'll take that pillar down. Okay, there's nothing in there. We've already been there. There's nothing here. We'll go down one. There's also a library somewhere in this castle. My goodness, where is all this stuff? Come on, Chezni, use your brain. Is it this way? No. Okay, let's try going up a room. Or up a floor. Wait a minute. Have we... Ah, of course, the Wizard's Keep. This is where we want to go. This is how we access all this stuff. Excuse me, sir. Maybe someday you could be a Night Squire. Ah, it looks like a letter. Alaron, the king told me to make myself available for you. I am downstairs in the lab. Gondrick. We'll be down there in just a bit. We're gonna explore the library here. A singular spice. And a singular gemstone. I'm sure it's totally cool if we come in here and steal regions from the wizards. We are, after all, the hero! Nothing in here. Nothing here either. Just a lot of beds, implying that the kingdom is much larger than the number of NPCs we actually run into. It's okay, we'll go up a floor. Look at that. Sorry, I have to do that again. Look, look how choppy it is. This model trying to force its way up these stairs. Like, it's so funny. Alright, we'll check the bookshelves. I don't remember if there's anything in any of the shelves. Oh, there is. Okay. I'm a little confused because there is a table of contents, but there's only one section. I don't think that would necessitate a table of contents. On this day, the first day of a glorious new age of man, period, we name this kingdom Guernia. We mark the occasion, period. That has to be a comma. The defeat of the Jundar, the founding of the kingdom, the triumph of good with this marker. From this day forth, let the names of all our noble knights be scribed forever on this plaque, so that we may remember. The first name to be scribed is that of noble Lear, Lord Protector, Champion of the Realm, Slayer of the Jundar. He shall be crowned King Lear, first king of Guernia on this, the first day of the new age, year 1. So apparently that was the founding of the kingdom. Oh boy, a lot of them here. A treatise on goblins with a Y. And in this wild land, goblin kind are even more prevalent. Goblins come in several varieties, the smallest being mostly nuisance. Only in large numbers do goblins pose any serious threat. Beware their snares and traps, for they love to ambush the unwary. Goblins are not heroic in the least, and will usually fire arrows from a secure position rather than engage in melee. It is these tactics that make a group of goblins a threat. Larger goblins are more singularly dangerous and act as leaders for their smaller brethren. They are also deadlier with their missiles. By far the most dangerous of goblin kind are the hobgoblins. These brutes are much larger and are able to cast perilous magics. Oh, not magics with a K. Hobgoblins will always be the leaders if a troop of goblins strays from their lair. Thankfully, most goblins are easily cowed, and curtail their raids if they suffer a particularly sharp defeat. Yes, that's sort of a tip-off to the morale mechanic. Battle of the Lonely Mountain. The Battle of the Lonely Mountain, 895, and so it was on this date that the forces of King Ramsay drove the hated hordes of goblins back to Lonely Mountain. There we defeated them. Goblins slain numbered over 3,000. Knights lost but 24. All other soldiers and men of common birth lost numbered 67. So 60, that's like what, 6 times 12? That's like a big number. Well, it's 5 times 12 is 60, right? Plus another 12 is 72. Plus 7 is 79. Many knights accomplished themselves well that day, including Phelan, the prince, son of the king. Ah, yes, okay, Phelan is the current king, so Ramsay is the father of Phelan, who personally slew a troop of hobgoblins, and Sir Beckon, who saved the king from a treacherous ambush. Now, we haven't met Beckon yet, but it is important to just to kind of remember his name, that he was a guy who fought alongside the current king. Ramsay himself slew the great Grictikal, upon whose death the goblin morale completely broke. Ramsay's excellent tactics provided the escape of much of the goblin force and secured peace and security for the years to come. The battle also solidified relationship with the Mirari, whose confidential reports and healing skills greatly aided the forces of the king. Ramsay's journal. And though I hate to be in any man's debt, I truly owe this Beckon my life. I have tried in my way to repay him, but blast the man if he does not confound me at every turn. I promptly knighted him on the battlefield so that he could receive the Medal of Valor, and yet he seemed reluctant to accept the honor. Does he begrudge me in some way? Why? Every night I hear the sound of goblin snarls. From nowhere Beckon appears. He saves me. I see this every night in my dreams. Yet when I awarded Beckon this medal, he immediately retired. Why forsake the knighthood? What is this sadness I detect in him? That much I don't know. The tragedy at Yorewood. From the account of a local man-at-arms, we reached the village and chased the cursed goblins out of there, killing as many as we could. Most of them had already left with their plunder. The body of villagers were scattered everywhere. We counted the dead, an entire population. The namer himself lay crumpled like a rag doll, tossed carelessly aside. Again, Yorewood was that burned down town, the town Alaron came from. We found the namer's ring, which presumably came from the corpse, or where the corpse had rotted, of the namer who died in the town. Yeah, you can make the connections. I have never seen the king so pale. Then we heard the cries. Hidden under a pile of straw was an infant, his eyes burning with smoke, sweat, and tears. The king was the first at the child's side. He took the baby and held it as tenderly as he would his own. Take this child to the castle, he said. We will raise him as a knight. All of you are his family now. Look to him and guard him well. None among us can forget the look on Phelan's face. We are now erecting a monument to the memory of those, and that's the monument that we found. I don't know if there are any other books. There might be. Maybe this one? Oh, yeah. Oops. Okay, Bowden's letters. Who's Bowden again? Have we met Bowden? Can't quite remember. I try to gather here some of Master Bowden's correspondence in an attempt to illuminate for others the great wizard's thoughts. Oh, right. Bowden is Rita's master wizard. Letter 1. I cannot help but worry that one as young as Ardra, powerful though she is, has not the proper temperance to lead the school. So, That's what I get for drinking carbonation. To give some context, Ardra is the leader of the magic school at Talawak, and we saw Talawak on the map there. There is more to magic than simply waggling one's fingers and making the biggest explosion possible. Still, she is strong-willed and perhaps the only one suited to the post at this time. Cardog, while I respect the man, is far too limited in his vision. We need strength now. Letter 2 from Cardog. And so I feel I must isolate myself and my studies for the time being. The noise and distraction of the school are too much to bear for enlightened study, and since you have all decided I am not fit to lead anything, there seems to be no reason to stay. Bodin's response: My friend, I feel you mistake our judgment for a personal attack. No one would claim to have greater expertise in your chosen school, and no one has questioned your value. We simply feel the time has come to inject fresh life into the academy. Letter 3. This is a strange fragment whose origin I do not yet know. What you think of me, what you and all the others, do not for one instant think I am unaware of the sniggering and the condescension. A reckoning is coming, and you are all too smug and self-assured to see it. So we're not sure if that letter came from Cardog or not, but apparently he was upset at not being named the master of the school when Ardra, a much younger female wizard, was appointed instead of him, the much older male wizard. I'm sure he was upset about that. Let's see here. Kingdom flora and fauna are beneficial. Gather these herbs deep in the woods, in the nooks and crannies of the darkened forest patches. The primary danger, of course, are certain creatures native to this wood, those being chiefly bats and rats. Bats and rats, guys! They are easily disposed. Wolves, boars, or bears should be avoided by the experienced woodsman. Unless you are heavily armed, they are dangerous animals. On occasion, goblins are spotted in the wood, but in recent times they have been few. Indeed, since the Battle of the Lonely Mountain. And the Witch in the Woods, which must be Oriana. And they say that on cold and foggy nights she can be heard in the forest singing a mournful song. Beware the siren song, my friends, for though she wears human skin, this is a creature of darkest sorcery. Not many believe me, but I swear 'tis true. I was hopelessly lost by the time the sun she was setting. Wait, by the time the sun she was setting. Yeah, that's what that says. I settled in to sleep out the night, but an awful moan awoke me. Must have been right around midnight. I looked up, and she was pulling herself out of that tree, just peeling the bark off of her like burnt skin. When she turned those red eyes on me, I ran for sure. I left my pack, my jug, everything. Lucky escape, I swear it's true. There is no trace, however, of any such witch. I see her regular, fixed my... What? I'm gonna read this as literally as I can read it. I see her regular. Fixed my dicky bladder, she did. I got no problem with her. The king would take action if there were such a threat. At this time, there is no reason to believe. Many of the villagers visit a healer woman in the woods and report naught that is ill. The witch may be another entity entirely. Don't go in the woods. Blah, blah, blah. So, people in the kingdom think Oriana is crazy, but anyone who's actually been down there to see her knows she's completely harmless. Okay, I think that's enough backstory for now. Let's go finally talk to Godric. Up or down? Let's go up first. We seem to be on top of the observatory now. Let me take this ladder and, a lot of catapults on top of the observatory. That's kind of odd. Maybe it's that the observatory houses those with the mathematical prowess to actually aim them. Yeah, I don't think there's anything up here. We'll walk around a little bit more, but yeah, you just come up here and see the catapults. That's nice. See if we can find entrance into the middle of this. Keep wondering if maybe there's something in one of these nooks or crannies. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, we can't even go into them. I shouldn't even be checking. There's some kind of door in this central part, but I don't see it. Okay, there's the stairway. Maybe the door is on the other side. There it is. Who the heck? Is this Cardog or not Cardog? Odin. No. I hear you're going on a quest. That's true. What do you know about dreams, Master Bowden? Any exciting experiments lately? Should I take a wizard? Can you give me any advice on who to take along? I don't think we need advice. We'll ask him about what he knows about dreams. Dreams? Why, there's much lore concerning that subject. The Mirari, they... I don't really want to know about them, sir. I want to know about me. You? Why? Have you been dreaming? We all dream, you know. Some say that the spirits in our bodies... That's exactly what I'm afraid of. I saw the woman, and I saw this face. It was horrible, but I still see it. Who was this woman? Was it Oriana? No, not like her at all. She was wearing a dress like the ones I've seen in the library from Terminor. Wow! I didn't even realize they referenced Terminor here. Alright, so that lady definitely is... Oh, we lost the camera. Hang on. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and talk while I'm fixing this. That lady we saw in the dreams definitely was wearing a dress from Terminor, which is interesting. That's peculiar that they even reference it. Let's see here. Terminor, eh? Outside the kingdom? Well, maybe someday you will meet her, son. As for dreams as vivid as yours, I think that it is a sign somebody's trying to contact you. Have you had this kind of dream before? No, sir. At least I don't think so. Well, it shows what I've been saying all along. You're talented, son, and you should keep up your training. Pay attention to these dreams. If you have any more, think about them. At some point in the future, you'll understand them, I'm sure of it. That's true. I'll ask him if he's done any exciting experiments lately. Oh, I always have several exciting things on the go. At least they're exciting to some people. Then why don't you tell me the most interesting one? The truth is, I've been researching an ancient sword enchantment using some old sword of Trahern's. I'm surprised Trahern hasn't looked for it. Actually, he has. Alaron, Trahern asked us to go look for it. That weapons master robbed me of an apprentice. I think it only fair that I keep his sword in exchange. Interesting. So, perhaps at one point Bowden wanted Alaron as his apprentice, but instead Alaron went the squire route instead of the magician route. You go tell that metal monger that I shall never tell him where that sword is. Although between you and me, I've hidden it in a storage room off the lab. Would you like the key to the room? Well, tell him yes, we would. Take it. Just be sure you replace the sword when you're done with it. Now about this quest, perhaps I should go with you. I'm sorry, Master Bowden. I'm only allowed to take Abrakan or Rita or Godric or Brenna. Really? What difficult choices you're going to have to make? Well, not really. We already talked about Rita, Brenna, and Abrakan. I'll ask him about Godric, since honestly he's the one I know the least about. Godric is, well, Godric. His potions are most potent, no complaints there. I merely wish his mind was as concentrated as his alchemy. Thank you for your honesty, Master Bowden. I have a lot to think about. Will you, I hope, make me... Oh, wait. I can't tell the difference between a comma and a period. It's driving me nuts. Will you, I hope, make me part of those thoughts? I would so much like to go on a quest. He's just this old man who's cooped up in here and he just wants to leave. Master Bowden, of all my teachers, I admire you the most, but I don't have permission to take you along. I guess the king wants you to remain here in Guernia. Oh, I see. Well, I don't pretend that I'm not disappointed. Nevertheless, if there's anything you need... Thank you. Thank you, Master Bowden. Good luck, boy. I'll see you on your return. Alright, so, Bowden is kind of a nice guy. Kind of feel bad. He just wants to get out of the castle, man. It is kind of... Whoa! Did we just glitch through that? How did we do that? We just, like, glitched right through the... Right through the table. Whoop! We kind of, like, spaced out there. It seems to happen off the back of this chair. Oh, well. Doesn't surprise me. This game is full of stuff like that. But yeah, at least we got the key from Bowden, so now we can go get Trahern's sword. Even though Bowden doesn't want to give it to that, quote, metal monger. We'll go ahead and give it to Trahern. We can go up even higher. A new journal entry has been added? What? Where is our journal? Not here. We're definitely going to save the game. Whoops. Here we go. Bowden hid Trahern's sword in a locked storage room off the lab. He gave me... Why did the journal update here? Okay. Oh, there's a Mirari here. Ah, there you be. Fine, I'll do the Mirari voice. Ah, there you be. Not now, Gachina. I want to talk with you. I'll be back. Or, Gachina, you're just the person I'm looking for. Might as well go with that one. Maybe you can help me. I need a healer right away. What can tell me about dreams? I wanted to learn magic. I definitely want to learn magic. Teach me magic. Have you not been learning with Bowden, pup? I seem to be hearing about the sword. Oh, that. Well, you know Abergan. He overreacts, and, hush, pup. He does not so much. He cares for you and wants to see you responsible. Well, if I ever cure this poison... In fact, when I heard you were poisoned, I rushed to my books. I thought a spell should be obvious and easy to teach. Hours later, I'd been through every source I know, as well as the Kingdom Library. And at this moment, I know hardly any more about you than when I did when I started. Then Oriana was wrong? You can't help me at all? Take this spice. It will slow the poison down. It's not a cure, but it's best not to leave a poison untended. I'll try to find other books and help you. Until that time, take care not to be wounded. And study with a human teacher like Bowden or Rita, or one of the great wizards at the Talawak school. But, pup, I've answered many questions. I must be going. Wow, you're just, like, busy. She gave us a single spice. Well, that's just fantastic. That's totally useless to us. I do think it's funny, though, that apparently Gachina knows about the enchanted sword from the beginning. Maybe we can ask her something else. What can you tell us about dreams? Dreams? Being that they are messages, asking you are... What? Asking you are about the... They talk like Yoda. Asking you are about these dreams? I am. I had one that bothers me. So I see. Have you tried being quiet to the dream? To the... What? Have you tried being quiet to the dream think about? How would you say that like Yoda? Have you tried being quiet to the dream think about? I can't even make sense of it. I'm not very good at keeping quiet, Gachina. Yes, we'd be knowing of this. More diplomatic you should be. Quiet, I am thinking, would help make the message clear. Can you remember it? Well, it took place in the clouds. I saw the goblins there, and I thought it was because of the poison. Goblin poison being not the cause of your dream. In the clouds, you say? Yes, and I saw a woman there, and being it said with my people that the place you saw the gods used to talk. There they play games and tell stories. In this place they entertain those that have a purpose. Special you may be, pup. This dream may say so. But with the goblins there, I thought it was because of the poison. Both you and Oriana are lucky to escape from goblins. Oriana was attacked by goblins? And when was this? Long ago. Remember, pup, these dreams may come again. Pay attention to them. They are messages. Yeah, so that's kind of our tip-off that apparently the place we had that vision of the lady from wearing the dress from Terminor and the weird creature and whatnot is it took place in a plane where the gods play games, so the gods are messing with us. And we have the laboratory where no doubt Godric exists. Yeah? Hello? Who's there? Oh, Squire, what can I do for you? Squire? Godric, it's me. I'm looking for some way to heal myself. A potion, perhaps? Of course it's you! Who else would it be? I mean, it's me, Alaron. Don't you remember? Remember what? Remember who I am. Who you are? Well, don't you know? I know I'm in a lot of trouble. Maybe I should come back here later. All I need is a potion of healing. We'll say we're in a lot of trouble. Boy, you really are melodramatic. Now pay attention. You're Alaron, the king's favorite squire and the Sir Abraken's biggest frustration. Starting to sound like Don Knox. Abraken was born... Never has there been a more truthful sentence. Abraken was born frustrated. That's pretty good. Well, they just want to take care of you. They feel guilty, you know, about losing your village in that raid, I mean. All those villages were attacked and all, horrible it was. Meanwhile, the king and the knights are sitting pretty back in Grania, riding their ponies and playing with Sheridan. Do you know the village I came from? What was the king like back then? Oh my gosh, the camera keeps busting. I'm gonna have to pause the recording here. I will be right back.